This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Hey, what's up, and welcome to Hot Takes, where I react to your hot takes. And this week, boy, we gonna have a bunch of them. It's been a week of hot takes here in the city of Cleveland for us Browns fans. So let's just get into it, man. This one comes from the video, my first report card of 2023. That video was posted 4 days ago. I feel like I did that a month ago. It's been a long week. Crow927 says, "Hey Q, I seen on DW's podcast with Quincy Avery, QB Unleashed episode 5, I think it was, where Deshaun mentioned he hasn't really done a bunch of RPOs in the past. Could that be why they haven't done much of it?" Deshaun is in that weird age of quarterbacks before the RPO revolution that were like kind of born into it, right? Like, I think this happened with EJ Manuel, who was drafted in like the 2013 draft, but there was a lot of quarterbacks who just did not run a ton of RPO. I know his freshman year at Clemson, he ran a lot of RPO, but I don't think outside of that, he's done it, especially in the pros. So it might be a comfort thing with him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he doesn't have the greatest reads in the world on read options. Like, period. Like, he's not that great at these read option reads. So maybe it just doesn't happen in a way that he sees well. Like, there's a lot of times where he just makes a flat out wrong read option read. But yeah, I think that's part of why they haven't done much with RPOs. I think a lot of times when you see an athletic quarterback, people just assume that they've ran a ton of RPOs, but I think he needs to get more familiar with it, and I think it would benefit him to get familiar with it, right? I don't think that that's an excuse for him not to learn and add that to his repertoire, right? I can understand even guys like, now, I haven't seen Tom Brady run an RPO. Now, that would be going pretty extreme. But guys have added RPO stuff to their game late in their career. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has done it. So, I think for Deshaun, I think it would be good if he adds that into his game. I can understand if he's not too familiar with it, so it's not something you could just throw in there. But, I think it would be helpful for him to have in his game. Rasim was the great defense that forces a lot of punts. I think an above average punt returner would bring a lot of value. Maybe throw Elijah Moore back there. Let's be honest, he's not big enough part of the offense to worry about him getting hurt on special teams, but he has quickness that should work as a returner. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, returners, that's a different breed. Not every great athlete can be a returner. You look at the guys who were great returners, different breeds. Like, you can't just throw a wide receiver back there and think he's going to be a great returner. Even if he's a dynamic threat with the ball in his hand, like, those are different breeds of dudes. Like, Jakeem Grant played running back at one point in his college career. Tyreek Hill played running back at Oklahoma State. Like, that's a different breed of dude to look up, catch a ball, and decide I'm going to juke somebody. So I don't think that's given how we've seen Elijah Moore run on end arounds. I don't think that he's the dude to be out there returning punts. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't think that's him. No disrespect to him, but if he were, he'd be better on them end arounds. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's him. Honestly, Donovan Peoples-Jones probably is your best bet at punt returner. He's not good. He doesn't make consistently good decisions. And I think it's more valuable to just secure the good field position, right? The punt return stuff, like, we're only doing that because we don't have very much faith in this offense to score. But all I need a punt returner to do is secure good field position. If the Browns have good field position, just make sure that you secure it on the punt. But what's happened too many times is that we're getting negative field position. And when I say negative field position, is the ball's behind the 25. We're getting negative field position because we're just god awful at fielding punts for whatever reason. We catch it when we're not supposed to catch it. We don't catch it when we're supposed to catch it. We just keep securing negative field position for ourselves. That's the bigger issue, right? Drives have a higher success rate when they start at the 20 versus when they start at the 2. And the Browns have started far too many drives within their own 10-yard line. Far too many drives within their own 10-yard line. And that has nothing to do with your ability to physically return a football. It has everything to do with your ability to secure good field position. And securing good field position can happen with having a dynamic punter, but you know it's the punt returner, my bad. But you know what the easier way to accomplish that goal is to have somebody that's really good at securing field position, right? Ball bounces here, I'm going to catch it. We going to have the ball at the 20. Ball bounces a little bit behind me, but I know it's going to go out of bounds. I'm going to make sure it goes out of bounds, right? That kind of stuff is more important and more replicatable for this team because I don't think they have a dynamic punt returner on the offense, on the roster. And since it's not an option for them, I don't want to play musical chairs with the punt returner. Just give me one who can make sound decisions with those returns and secure good field position. That's it. Don't need Josh Cribbs. Would love Josh Cribbs. Don't need Josh Cribbs to solve that problem. You just don't. To solve that problem, you just need Jim Leonard. Can somebody be Jim Leonard? Right? Because it's crazy to ask somebody to be Josh Cribbs. But a lot of people can be Jim Leonard as far as returning punts. The entire AFC North is a hot mess. This video I did talking about how every other team in the AFC North has their own problems right now. We're going to jump to this first comment who's from Crypto Mar, who says, look at the Minnesota Vikings going 13-4 last season. Quite a bit of luck went into those wins this season. The faucet ran out. Oh, for the Vikings. Yeah, I mean, like, luck plays into it, man. Some teams have good records because they just got lucky. That definitely plays into it. Adair Morgan says, I just can't believe the Steelers have a -31 differential and they're still 3-2. They seem to have messed around, and when they might mess around and win the division, that might really piss me off. Look, the Steelers have good luck. I don't know what it is, but Mike Tomlin living right. The next comment says, I don't think us Browns fans have earned the right to talk about the weakness of other teams when our team is in shambles. I don't understand this line of thinking specifically when it comes to me, but like in general, that fans will impose on themselves for no reason, which is, well, my team is not playing well, so therefore your opinion about any other football team is invalid. Now, throw out the fact that I actually do cover all the other AFC North teams on a channel called AFC North Talk. Like, there's a reason I would know about the issues of other AFC North teams because it is my job to know about other AFC North teams. I think a lot of people forget that. They think I just watch the Browns. I don't just watch the Browns. I watch the whole league. I watch a ton of football. So, you know, it's my job. So throwing out that, even if you're not somebody who does that, you're still allowed to have opinions on other teams. And the fact that your team's not good has nothing to do with the level of opinion that you're allowed to have. Paul, like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to gatekeep it like that. Like, would you not listen to Bill Belichick because he grew up a Browns fan? Like, that don't make any sense. Like, people have fandoms of teams and then they have knowledge of football. Those two things aren't related. You could be a fan of a terrible team and know a lot about football, and you could be a fan of a good team and know very little about football. And honestly, the inverse is true. How many fans of really good teams know jack shit about the team they're talking about? Right? Because when you're a really good team, you tend to have more fair weather fans who, look, they're more casual. They don't know as much. That's not a slam on them. That's just the truth, right? When the team's good, it's easy to root for them. So I never got this dichotomy that fans try to force upon themselves where they tell themselves, well, your team stinks, so you can't talk about this team. It's childish. It's goofy. This is shit like 5-year-olds say to each other about animes that they like. And you can't talk about my favorite anime because your anime sucks. Like, what are we doing? This is goofy. Like, I don't know. I never got why people do that. It makes no sense. You could be a fan of a bad team and still know what you're talking about with other teams. It's not like I'm the coach of a bad team talking about other teams. I'm just a fan. I'm not making the plays. Like, it don't make any sense. But nonetheless, I just don't understand that mindset. That mindset's goofy to me. And it's just kind of another way of trying to gatekeep football talk, which I always think is stupid when people try to do it. Why the Browns still have a great chance to make the playoffs. This video I did, the comment here. Woo, we got a long boy. Okay, hold on. Let me take a sip. Michael says, I've been commenting this on every USS video and every other Browns alt media outlet. People are in full panic mode. Get over this. Over a bad L with your backup 5th round rookie QB. I seriously don't get it. In my preseason predictions, I had the team at 3-2 after these 5 games. One less win than expected at this point is not a big deal as long as the team doesn't panic. And keep in mind, again, that one of these losses that I originally predicted would be a loss anyways, I had them beating Pittsburgh, came without your starting quarterback. He had the Aaron Rodgers relax. The last time this team played with their starting quarterback, they were amazing on the offense against a defense that shut down Burrow and the Bengals. I think there's some truth to that, for sure. I talk about this every year. You can predict a team to do something and it never matters because the number that you predict has nothing to do with how it happens, right? And I think the issue isn't what the Browns' record is, it's how the Browns have gotten to this record that has caused so many people to lose their minds. Now, I do think people are going over the top with it. I think it's been a bit much. I'm seeing people panic at the level that people were panicking at the end of 2019 in October in 2023. That makes no sense. Like that, I don't care if you think the season's looking good or not. That level of panic in October never makes any sense. Like if we get to that point and it becomes time to panic, of course, but there's no real reason to be early to the panic. I don't see any benefit to doing that. So I do think that fans are a little early and premature on this. But I do want to point out that, hey, man, you could predict a team to go 3-2. You could predict a team to go 6-10. You could predict a team to go 7-10. It doesn't matter what you predict. It matters how the team gets to the number that they get to. And the way that the Browns have gotten to this number has not been the most comforting way, right? I don't think that's how anybody would have preferred it happening. And that's why I mentioned in the other video, it really matters how stuff happens. And hopefully that could be the next video that we roll into, but I'll leave that as a teaser. What you predict in the hard numbers, the wins and losses, we try to tell ourselves that that's the only thing that matters. But the truth is that the moral stuff matters, right? The stuff that happens in the actual game matters. The bits of context that happen in each game, that matters. You can't just sit here and say, I want wins. Because, yeah, you want wins, but how they get to 3 wins, that matters. How they get to 2 losses, that matters. You can be 3-2 and be excited. You could be 3-2 and want to light the team on fire. It's all about how you get there. It's a lesson that I try to teach every year. Maybe people are learning. I don't know. DK Bebe says the schedule is favorable, but depends on the health of the Browns and if this offense can get right. We'll know more about DW in 24 hours. And the offense, I'm skeptical of. KS needs to embrace the shotgun. I think he has, but inside zone, he can do more with that. RPO, that'll open things up, including the run game. I don't know if he's capable of committing to such a thing he's not familiar with. We'll see. Titans game was the first step, though. Yeah, I think this next stretch between October, these next 6 weeks are going to be very important for this football team. The Browns who need to step up right now. Ellie Andrews says that's why I believe a 5th-year option shouldn't be on the table for a player if they have at least 1 Pro Bowl, even if they are an alternate. Here's the thing about 5th-year options. They're another damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right? If you do forego the 5th-year option and a player ends up playing well and then they hit free agency, well, you're an idiot. How did you let that happen? If you give the 5th-year option, they don't live up to the 5th-year option, now you're an idiot, right? There's no winning in this. You can end up paying Daniel Jones $40 million because you didn't want to give him a 5th-year option and look like an idiot. Or you can have a tackle on your roster that you want to get off like the Browns and the Bengals have had. And there you can also end up in that situation. I think hindsight's always 20/20 on 5th-year options. But the truth is that the money isn't enough to prevent teams from, if they're 50-50 about a guy, going ahead with the 5th-year option. So I don't mind the 5th-year option. Does it suck in the short term? Yes, but it's 1 year that they've added on to it. So it's not that big of a deal. And the money's not that giant to where it's going to disrupt your ability to build. And I'd rather they take a chance on a 5th-year option on the 1st-round pick that they feel like can live up to it and be wrong than not take a chance and be wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because what if you let a quality left tackle walk out the door? Or let's say with Greg Newsome, you don't give him the 5th-year option and then he walks and then you just lose a year of control on a really good corner because you didn't want to do the 5th-year option. It just, the negatives are palpable, but I think the positives outweigh it. If things go right. And I think that will always make the decision in favor of the 5th-year option. Thank you for the question, L. Jerry Caldwell says, a longtime fan, we are overreacting to the loss to Baltimore. Facts, DTR was not able to run the offense in the game. When Watson gets back, let's see what the offense looks like. Facts, there were several plays where short passing game was open. The defense had a reality check. I hope they learn from the Ravens game and we'll know this weekend. Yeah, I think we just got to take it week by week. I've been preaching this all season. Feels like nobody's listening, but we got to take this week by week. We really got to just take this week by week. You know, I think we're trying to do victory laps and celebrate this like it's the Super Bowl every week. And it's just exhausting. It's driving people crazy. Just take it week by week. If the Browns look good this week, all right, let's see what happens next week. If the Browns look terrible this week, all right, let's see what happens next week. We will have a better determination of this team in November. We don't got to wait that long. I don't see what the rush is to make a determination on the team one way or the other. I really don't. Let's just wait till November. What's wrong with waiting till November to be sure about where this team is? And then you could, because there's no need to be in a rush. There's no need to be in a rush about this. Jason says, oh, and this is in response to my what would make Browns fans happy video. Jason says, yeah, I want to see Watson play, look comfortable, and it's out the window, and put together 3 solid scoring drives. I like to see Stefanski call plays to the strength of the offense. Good of him. And for the defense, mostly just stay healthy. The 49ers can drop 30 plus on any defense as long as they get out the game healthy. I think we can live with whatever result they let up. Now, I want to see this defense live up to it. I'm going to be lenient on whatever happens with the offense because backup quarterback's in there. But, you know, I still want some production. I don't want it to be completely miserable on that side. But I think the defense should live up to it. I'm not saying you should shut out the 49ers, but it should look like a struggle. You shouldn't get Swiss cheese through them. Again, if we think the 49ers are a Super Bowl quality team, and hope for this team is to be a Super Bowl quality team, the one part on this team that's been living up to that billing has to be able to live up versus the 49ers. I don't think we could just excuse that. Michael says, nope. I'm sick of easing my pain with moral victories. Just win more, no more excuses. Yeah, this is not how it works. This is not how it works. I kind of explained this earlier, right? Whether you win or lose, how you win or lose matters. That's all I'm pointing out. I'm not saying, hey, a moral victory is better than a win, but I am saying, like, if you want to feel better about the team, you have to understand that the result is not 100% the solution. I have seen people come in here, much like Michael, after a win and be furious about a Browns win. And I'll sit there and be like, why are you mad? They won. Well, they didn't do this and that. And they still look like they got these problems because you know the truth. The truth is how they win is almost as important as if they win. How they lose is almost as important as if they lose. Because we're not ending the season on this game, right? If this were a playoff game, you'd have a point. Winning's the only thing that matters because winning's the only thing that's going to get you to the next round. But right now in October, we're trying to project what this team is going to be in December. And since we're trying to project what this team's going to be, the context clues matter a lot. You know what I mean? That's going to help us. How they win games is going to help us know if this is replicatable for the rest of the season. How they lose games is going to let us know, are we exploitable on either side of the ball? How things happen matter. If the Browns were 2-2, but the only 2 games they lost were because of a bad referee call on both games, and that's the only flaw that we saw, nobody would be panicking like they are right now. If the offense looked good for 4 straight weeks, nobody would be panicking the way that they are now. Even if the team was still 2-2, nobody would be panicking. But the fact that the offenses look good 1 out of 4 weeks, that's what people are worried about. It's not just that you win. Winning matters, no doubt about that. It's also how you win that matters. But that's it for today. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.